All right, so welcome back everybody to GLiiDeR TV. So today I will be doing the Joker review. It's going to be the spoiler-free one, and then in the second part of the section of the video is going to be spoiler review. So I will warn you guys so that you can leave the video so that you don't have to watch that spoiler review. So yeah, let's get started. So Arthur Fleck, he is played by Joaquin Phoenix, and he did such an amazing job portraying the character of Joker, and it was probably like the most amazing Joker I've ever seen. So Arthur Fleck, he is basically a man who suffers from mental illness and lives in a poor area of Gotham City, and he works as a service clown. And Arthur is like a very antisocial he's a very antisocial man, like with a dream of like comedic like doing like the stand-up comedy and stuff. And you know, throughout his the movie, he turned, or like his life basically has like a different turn on him, and it just goes kind of like downhill, so to speak. So let's get started. So you know, the beginning of this movie, it was like a really slow start, but it's not like a boring start, like as you know, like other movies, they have like boring starts, but this one, it's really slow, but it's just showing you how his life is, like what he is like, what it's like to live in like the poor area of Gotham City. And you know, you kind of like see him like with his like with the character development, like going from the beginning, you're just like sympathizing with him, because like you just feel bad for him. And the way Joaquin Phoenix plays him, like he's so into character that it's just like you feel for the character. And you know, like towards the middle, things start changing with him. You know, the Arthur is kind of going through things where it's just like, you know, things aren't going well for him. And you know, he kind of like daydreams about stuff like that, he wishes that could happen, because you know, he wants like that there needs to be like a change in Gotham City, because like, you know, like the poor like really wants to like have a good life. And that's why Arthur really like daydreams about, you know, being a comedic like a stand-up comedian. So yeah, and then throughout the end of the movie, like from the middle to the end, his the way his character develops is basically like you do not sympathize with him anymore, because the way he changed is, you know, a little crazy, so to speak. And it's kind of like, I think it's I mean, because like at the end, his character it just like he changes so much to where it's just like, oh, like now you see why he like changed like that. But you know, Joker is Joker. Everyone knows how the Joker is in, you know, like other movies. And yeah, I mean, like I think like with this ending of the movie, it's more of like a different way we see Joker. And I think it's more of like a big impact that we get. And I think Joaquin did a really good job getting into character, making Joker feel like a big villain and stuff. And I think that slow buildup from the beginning all the way to the end was totally worth it, in my opinion, because, you know, you're just seeing everything in his life, and like going to the end is just like, wow. But yeah, like his character just turned very sinister. This movie was also very dark in certain moments, very dark and kind of gruesome. So I really do recommend this movie to people, even like, and if you're a person that doesn't like slow movies, I promise you this one is the perfect one for you to watch, because there's just so many things that is going on that keeps you engaged, and that's what this movie did. It kept me engaged throughout like the whole thing. So I was just like, okay, like this is what's going on. This is who he is. This is what's happening to him. What the heck? Uh, but I did see the midnight release with like my group of friends. And I did accidentally fall asleep for like 5 minutes, but then I woke up, and I mean, I didn't miss too much because I just like remember what happened. But anyways, so with this review, like the final verdict is an A+, and I really recommend getting a group of friends to watch this movie so that you can talk about it afterwards, because this is the type of movie that when you watch it, you're just gonna think about it the next day. Like, I'm still thinking about it, mainly because like his character and stuff. So yeah, just get a group of friends, watch the movie, grab a dinner, and talk. But okay, so now I'm gonna move on to the spoiler section. So if you have not seen the movie, it's time to skedaddle out of here. So yeah, so I'm gonna just get into the spoilers in 3, 2, 1. I hope you left, for those who haven't watched it. And now, from the start of the movie, just like seeing him work as a service clown, and like seeing how he was treated from his workers, it was kind of sad, because it's just like you really feel bad for him. And then there's a certain scene when he gets on a bus, and then, you know, he's trying to make a little kid laugh, but the mother of that kid just like tells him, you know, to like stop talking to him and stop bothering like her child or whatever. And then so Arthur, he felt so bad that like, since with his condition that he has, when something like in his emotions doesn't feel right, he starts uncontrollably laughing. So that basically just made him look crazy. And so that's why, like, you know, like it's just like the scene when he's like uncontrollably laughing, and then you just like see him like hand the card to like the lady to let her know that like he has a condition, but she like kind of treats him like just, ew, like back away, like, oh, I wanna, you know, like, oh, I don't mind, okay. But yeah, like I felt bad for him at that part, because he can't stop it, and, you know, he can't control it. He has a neighbor at his apartment complex that he kind of like had an eye for, and in the movie he kind of like stalks her, and, you know, she notices that it was him. And you know, like throughout the movie, like she goes with him to his stand-up comedy venue, and then she goes with him to the hospital where Arthur's mother is at currently. It's like that type of thing, like you wouldn't think that a relationship would happen with him because of how like he's like kind of like antisocial. But yeah, but then you begin to learn like it was just his like daydream of like wanting to be with a like that woman, because there was a scene where, you know, like he ends up in her living room, and then she says, "You're Arthur, like who lives, you know, like a couple doors down or whatever." And so it's basically like the scene of like, "I don't know you, you need to get out" type of thing. So that's like you knowing like it was a daydream of his. The part where one of his coworkers basically gave him a gun to protect himself because they knew that he got beat up on the streets with his sign and blah, blah, blah. So as he was given the gun, you know, like, basically like, when he was at his home, he didn't like know what to do with it. So he just like playing with it. And then he's like, there's a scene where he's like dancing like with the gun or whatever. But like the thing is like, I'm like so surprised with how much Joaquin lost weight for this movie. And that scene, you can really tell like his body figure. When he breathes, you can actually see his like ribs opening and closing. I'm just like, whoa. Man, he deserves an Oscar. And so yeah, and then like, you know, he has the gun, he takes it everywhere to like, you know, feel safe. And then there's one scene where he is on a train and he notices that there's like a woman being bullied from like 3 Wall Street guys, and one of the guys is basically like picking on her because I guess they wanted to get with her or something. And then so Arthur was just looking at her, and then she was looking at him, kind of like, help me, whatever. But then Arthur was just laughing because he had his condition where he was, you know, laughing uncontrollably, which led to the 3 guys come towards him. And so they start beating him up. And then the scene where they just like, where he just takes out a gun, he shoots the 3 dudes immediately. And it happened so quick, like it was just unexpected. By like how fast he killed them, and how like in like the cinematography of the scene, you just like see them get like one's head is like blown, and then the other one is like getting shot 3 times, like boom boom boom, whatever. After seeing that, I was just like, wow, this is very dark. And like, you know, there's like some moments in this movie where it's like it has like a dark comedy to where something dark happens, but then something funny like follows along after it. So it's kind of like a smart type of thing to do, which was, it kind of like flowed very well because it didn't seem off that there was comedy and stuff. That was his like first like murders that he did. And then there was a scene where he went to a children's hospital, and you know, he's, you know, doing like the clown things, like if you're happy, if you know it, clap your hands, blah blah, whatever. So during that dance, when he's trying to cheer up the kids, it was like the if you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. And as he stomps his feet, his gun falls out. And, you know, like, it was like a super funny scene because he like picks it up really quick and he turns to the kids and just says, like, you know, shh, whatever. So I thought that was very funny. And, you know, from there he gets fired, and then, you know, his coworkers were like really mean to him. So there was a scene where he basically like beat them up and killed them. I think one of them was with like scissors, I think. Because like out of that coworker group, there was just one midget who was like the type of coworker who was like really nice to him. So during that scene when he was like, you know, killing all his coworkers, he let him be. And that scene, it was the same thing, like so gruesome, so quick with the killings, and they were just like intense. And then right after, he like tells him, like, you were the only one that was nice to me, so I'm gonna let you go and you can leave. The midget, he's like going to the door, and since he's small and can't, because he tries to open it, but the door has like that lock that you like slide and then you can like take it out. So he's like trying to jump, and I'm just like, oh, like that's so cute. He's trying to jump, but he can't open the door. And like, what if like freaking Arthur kills him? So that's what I was thinking. And then Arthur, he like, you know, opened the door for him, and then you see the midget going, like trying to get out as fast as he could. And I just thought like that was like a good comedic scene as well, you know, like the dark with the comedy going in together in one scene. So I thought that was like really funny. That was probably like my favorite part of the movie, because like I just felt so bad for the midget. Like he looked so scared, and he was like, can you help me open the door? So in the movie, he basically had a daydream that he wanted to be on this show of like Mr. Murray or something. And like in that daydream, Murray calls him down and like is basically like in front of like the TVs and whatever. So that was basically like his daydream that he wanted to do, because, you know, it's just like, wow, this man is appreciating me, and I'm from like a very poor part of Gotham City. And so it led to the point to where when Arthur, his mom, ends up getting sick. She is at the hospital. So in her room, she had a TV, and that TV had the Murray Show playing. While the show is going, Murray shows a clip of Arthur was doing his stand-up comedy at that venue. And during his stand-up comedy, all he was doing was he just went up to the mic and started doing his laughter of the condition that he has. And then he like says a joke that wasn't as great. Mr. Murray showed that whole clip embarrassing him because like he wasn't like a good comedian or something. And so that's when he kind of had like that fire that he kind of like wanted to do something to Murray, like the Mr. Murray or whatever. Arthur basically finds out that he is adopted because like all his life he always thought his mother was his mother. And in the movie, he found out that his dad was, the mayor of Gotham City. So he always thought that was his dad, but in reality, it wasn't. So after he found out he was adopted, he basically suffocated his mother on her hospital bed. So that was very dark. And from there, that's when everything started picking up in the movie. Everything was just going so fast. And that's when one of Mr. Murray's like assistants or something called Arthur and asked if he could be on his show. He agreed that he would go. And then when he went, he had his face painted, and he asked Mr. Murray, like, if you introduce me, can you introduce me as Joker? And whatever. So, after that, like, he's on the show. And then he basically says on live television, like, how can you basically, like, make fun of me or, like, bully me? And, like, I know who you are. And then Murray says, you don't know anything about me, blah, blah, blah. I forgot what he says, but he says, you do deserve this. And then he just, like, shoots him, like, right there. And it happened so quick. And then from there, there was, like, big rages going out on the streets of everyone who lived in the poor city, or, like, in the poor part of Gotham City. And everybody was like basically exploding cars, beating up people. And then Arthur was taken in a police car. As they're driving, Arthur notices everybody who's like following him, like he has followers. He notices that, and he kind of like gets happy about it because now he feels like people know him or whatever. And so during one part of the scene while they're going, one of the followers basically crashes into the police car, and they take out Arthur, and they place him like on the police hood. And then from there, like, that's when Arthur, he kind of like wakes up and notices like everyone is cheering for him. So that's when Arthur, since he's bloody, he gets his blood, and then he like does like that happy face thing. And that part just kind of like shook me. I was just like, whoa, that's crazy. Okay. Because during that scene, one of his other followers was near the theater, and in that theater, it was Bruce Wayne's parents and also Bruce as well. As, they're getting out of the theater and going into the alley, one of the followers of Joker was going to them. And then for me, I didn't expect that was going to happen, that they were actually going to show what happened to Bruce's parents. But they did, and the guy shot them both while Bruce is just standing there in awe with blood splatters on his face. That was like a crazy part of the movie, and I was just like thinking, oh, well, that was cool that they showed that, because I didn't think that they were going to connect that. But the only thing is just like I didn't understand how the age difference, because when you see the other movies, Joker and Bruce, they're kind of like the same age. But in this one, he's like 9 and Joker's like looking like it's in his 40s. So that's why I was kind of confused. But anyways, other than that, like, it was cool. So the end of the movie, you see that he's back at like the mental institution, and there's, one of the psychiatrists like talking to him, and then he just starts laughing, and then she asks him like, what are you laughing at? And then, he says like, oh, it's a joke. And she was like, I wanna hear or something. And then he says, you won't get it. And then from then on, the scene pans to a white hallway. And then Joker comes out. And every step he's taking, there's like red like on his feet, and you notice like, oh, well, that means he probably killed that psychiatrist. So like in the scene, he's just walking, and then turns one way, and then he starts running the other way, and then running back the other way. So that was really funny too, because the way he runs in the movie is like pretty funny. But other than that, the last 30 minutes of the movie were probably just like crazy, to where it added more intensity to the movie. And yes, of course, it made it very dark. The way the movie was made, it was just like really different. I liked the way that they directed this movie, and also like Joaquin did like a very amazing job with Joker, just like portraying him. So yeah, like this movie is just like A+, like what I said in like the spoiler-free review. That's everything that happened, and the only dislike was just probably the age difference of Bruce and the Joker, but other than that, like everything was really, really good. It was awesome. I mean, I just want to hear your thoughts on what you thought about on the movie. Leave a comment of your favorite scene of the movie. What parts were basically like unexpected to you? So yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for watching this Joker review and spoiler review. Stay tuned for like the up and coming videos. The other movie review that I'm gonna do probably like the next 2 weeks is when Zombieland comes out, the second one. And I'm very excited for that movie, because I've been waiting for a second movie since when I was like in 7th grade, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. I don't know. That movie was just so amazing. So that's going to be the next movie review that's going to be on here on my channel. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, thank you for sticking around for this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I will now be signing off. So deuces.